Because back in when President Kennedy was as president, he had a committee that he formed to determine whether or not this country was in fact segregated. And Congressman Kerwin was the chairman of that particular committee. And the report came back to President Kennedy that, yes, Mr. President, that this country is in fact segregated. And there's two societies, one white, one black, and unequal. Well, baseball paralleled that decision. There were two major leagues, one black, one white, and unequal.
But you said two major leagues.
That's right, two major league teams. Now, the unequalness was the fact that we didn't have any money. We played in their parks. You know, we played in Yankee Stadium and the Polo Grounds. We played in their stadiums, and they charged us rent to pay there. However, the people that we drew were enormous. The stands was full most of the time, and people were standing most of the game because the game was exciting. It was an exciting time when we played baseball. We did all the kind of things that make the game exciting. And because of that, we could not really make a lot of money because as the crowd grew, they charged us more rent.
So is that what they were doing with the other teams as well?
No, because there was no other teams doing that. Just the Negro League teams were playing their parks. No one else at that time really qualified to play in the Major League Baseball park, except the Negro League. And then during that time, the Negro League played roughly about 96 all-star games with the white major leagues. And out of the 96 games, the Negro League won about 86 of them. I mean, it's proof of the pudding. I mean,
wow. Let me see if I got it straight. Out of 96 games,
yes,
the Negro League, which was not considered a major league team, won how many of them?
86 out of 96 games we played.
So I guess regardless of what was going on, you guys knew you were bad.
Oh,
huh?
And they did too. They did too. And you know, out of everything that's bad, good things, there's some good things someplace in the mix. And one of the good things were that Satchel Paige in 1948 came to the Cleveland Indians. And at that time, the Cleveland Indians won the World Series that year. And they haven't won it since, incidentally, but they won the World Series that year.
Why are you laughing?
and Satchel Paige was Rookie of the Year in 1948, and he was 40-some-odd years old. Nobody knows exactly how old he is. Yes, that's very old. He was old. But that whole year, they investigated him because they thought he was putting some on the ball, some grease or something or some spit, because the ball was moving, and they never saw it move like that before. And they were still trying to find out how did he do it. Okay, but the good thing that came out of that was that it gave an opportunity for the white Major League ball players to see the performance of the Negro League players.
Now this is when, during that 96 game...
96 game thing, they got to know them well, and they knew who the ball players were. So when Bob Fellow was inducted to the Hall of Fame, his inductive speech said that he didn't think that he was worthy of that position if a guy like Satchel Paige did not have the opportunity to do so. And so Satchel Paige did not play in the Major League, in the white Major League. So Cooperstown was just for those Major League ball players.
Now that's where their Hall of Fame was.
That's where their Hall of Fame were. So, but as a result of them playing, getting to know the Negro League ball players, today there's 29 Negro League baseball players who didn't play in the Major Leagues, the white Major Leagues, but they're in Cooperstown today.